You are parked beside pump 6 when three masked ICE agents surround your car, hammer the glass, and shout, "Lower the window, now." Your hands freeze on the steering wheel. Do you record? Ask for identification? Stay silent? Drive away? Be careful here. Sudden movement can turn a legal dispute into immediate danger, while blind compliance can surrender information, access, or consent they may not have. You have seconds to protect your safety and preserve your rights. So what can you calmly say before that glass moves? The first mistake is assuming that every demand from someone wearing a badge carries exactly the same legal force. I am Attorney Curtis Dawes, an immigration lawyer who has spent more than a decade helping people navigate ICE encounters and removal proceedings. Here, I will give you a practical sequence: the first words to use, how to handle window and exit demands, when to remain silent, how to refuse searches, check warrants, record safely, and respond if agents use force. Now here is the issue. Protecting your rights does not mean arguing, insulting agents, bracing your body against the door, or physically preventing an arrest. That is like grabbing a spinning drill bit instead of switching off the power. The roadside is not where you win the legal fight. You preserve it with calm actions and precise words. And the stakes rise from there. Traffic laws, identification rules, immigration history, and the legal basis for the stop can change what applies. So this is general education, not personal legal advice. Before deciding what to do with the window, you need the answer to a more basic question. Are you actually free to leave? Start with control, not debate. Keep both hands visible on the steering wheel, avoid sudden movements, and turn on the interior light if it is dark. Do not put the vehicle in motion while agents are standing around it. Then ask two short questions. Are you immigration officers? And, am I being detained or am I free to leave? Think about what is happening. That second question works like testing a locked door by gently turning the handle. You are not forcing anything. You are finding out whether the government is claiming legal control over your movement. If the agent clearly says you are free to leave, respond, "I am leaving now." But be careful here. Check that every agent has moved away, the roadway is open, and no person is blocking your path. Leave slowly. Never drive toward an agent, squeeze around a human blockade, or accelerate through an unsafe gap. Now the stakes rise. What if the agent says you are detained? What if the agent refuses to answer? What if vehicles or bodies physically prevent you from leaving? Treat the encounter as a detention. Do not test the boundary with your accelerator, and that is the crucial distinction. You preserve the legal challenge by making your question clear, observing the response, and refusing to turn uncertainty into a dangerous confrontation. But what if the agent ignores that question and repeats one command? Roll the window all the way down. The demand sounds simple. Lower the window. But the window itself is not the legal argument. If you can communicate safely, lower it only enough to hear clearly or pass a document the law actually requires. Then ask, what is the reason for the stop? If local police are conducting a traffic stop, state law may require a driver's license, registration, or proof of insurance. A purely consensual encounter with ICE is different. Think of the window like the chain on a front door. It allows communication without automatically granting full access. But be careful here. That does not mean ICE can never lawfully order it lowered. The answer depends on whether this is a voluntary conversation, a traffic stop involving another agency, a lawful detention, or an arrest supported by legal authority. And that is not even the biggest danger. If an agent places a hand or arm inside, do not raise the glass. Never trap the hand, make threatening movements, or use the vehicle to resist. State your position clearly. Am I being detained? Then say, I am exercising my right to remain silent. You may disagree with the command. Preserve that disagreement for your lawyer, because roadside defiance can become forced removal or an accusation of resistance. The window matters, but the words you volunteer through it can damage your case long after the encounter ends. The moment an ICE agent asks, "Where were you born?" your instinct may be to explain everything. Do not. The Fifth Amendment allows you to decline questions that could incriminate you, including questions about citizenship, immigration status, how you entered the United States, or where your relatives live. Use one repeatable script. I am exercising my right to remain silent. I want to speak with a lawyer. Then stop. Silence will feel uncomfortable. They may repeat the question, change the wording, or act as though cooperating will end the encounter faster. Do not fill that silence. Think of every answer like an ingredient dropped into a mixing bowl. Once it goes in, you cannot pull it back out, and agents may combine separate details into evidence used in removal proceedings. But be careful here. Silence does not always eliminate document requirements. If local police are conducting a lawful traffic stop, the driver may have to provide a license, registration, insurance, or, under some state laws, a name. Provide what clearly applies without adding your birthplace, entry history, or immigration narrative. And that is not even the biggest risk. Never falsely claim United States citizenship, hand over false identification, destroy documents, or invent a story. A casual lie can create a separate legal problem beyond the original encounter. So say less. Tell the truth when legally required, but never volunteer a case against yourself. Then comes the question that makes many people surrender their rights without realizing it. Can we take a quick look inside? When an ICE agent says, "Lower the window and let me look inside," do not answer with, "I would rather you didn't," or, "Is that really necessary?" Those phrases leave room for agents to claim you eventually agreed. Use precise words. "I do not consent to a search of myself, my vehicle, my phone, or my belongings." Say it calmly. No debate, no explanation. The Fourth Amendment protects citizens and non-citizens from unreasonable government searches and seizures. Refusing consent forces agents to rely on some other claimed legal authority, such as probable cause, a valid warrant, or a search connected to a lawful arrest. Think of consent like handing someone the key to your toolbox. Once you voluntarily unlock it, arguing later that they should not have opened it becomes much harder. Now here's the issue. They may search anyway. If that happens, do not grab your phone back, block the door, or fight over property. Keep your hands visible and repeat, "I do not consent to this search." You want witnesses, body cameras, or nearby recordings to capture those words clearly. And that is not even the biggest warning. Asserting your rights will not necessarily prevent detention, arrest, property damage, or even a broken window if agents believe they have lawful authority. I do not like that reality, but you need the truth. Clear refusal preserves evidence and gives your attorney a legal issue to challenge afterward. And if agents claim they have a warrant, one word on that paper can completely change what it actually authorizes. When the agent presses a document against your window, ask to see it clearly. Check 4 things: the person's correct name, the issuing authority, the signature, and exactly what conduct the document authorizes. If you can photograph or record it without interfering, do that. Now here is the issue. A judicial warrant comes from a court and is signed by a judge. An administrative warrant is generally signed by an immigration official. Those documents are not interchangeable, just as a note from your contractor is not the same as a court order allowing someone into your house. But be careful here. The rule that an administrative warrant generally does not authorize entry into a private home without consent does not automatically make an arrest beside a vehicle illegal. A car parked at a gas station is not analyzed exactly like a locked bedroom, and that was not even the biggest surprise. Under Title 8, United States Code, Section 1357, immigration officers can sometimes arrest without a judicial warrant when specific statutory requirements are met, including circumstances involving suspected immigration violations and possible escape before a warrant can be obtained. So do not try to win the legal argument through the glass. Say, "I do not consent to a search. I am not resisting. I want a lawyer." Let counsel examine the document, the detention, and any force afterward. So what happens when ICE orders you out anyway, and the glass begins to break? If the glass starts breaking, protect your face, keep your hands visible, and do not grab the agent. Say, "I am not resisting." If ordered out, unlock the door if physically able, and follow commands without answering immigration questions. Here is my opinion, and you can push back. The roadside is the wrong courtroom. Using a locked door to physically defeat an arrest is like gripping a power tool after the switch jams. You may have been right before the movement, but now the danger controls everything. A sudden reach, a moving vehicle, or contact with an agent can produce obstruction or assault allegations. Your real leverage comes afterward. Preserve badge numbers, agency markings, time, location, witnesses, recordings, nearby cameras, vehicle damage, and injuries. Seek medical care, then contact immigration counsel and, when appropriate, civil rights counsel quickly. That leaves one final answer. the exact sequence to remember when the knock comes. When ICE demands your window down, keep your hands visible and never drive away or physically resist. Say, "Am I free to leave? I am exercising my right to remain silent. I do not consent to a search. I am not resisting. I want a lawyer." Save this script, memorize one attorney or emergency number, and make a family plan before anything happens. Comment which moment worries you most. Subscribe for practical guidance before an ICE encounter happens. Thank you. Next. ICE is at your front door claiming to have a warrant. Check out that video. See you there.